everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a super delicious keto dessert. It is a sour cream and cinnamon strudel. So right in front of me, we're going to jump right in. I have some finely milled almond flour. As you guys already know, I include all the details and instructions in my description below. So almond flour in front of me here. Now I have some Monkfruit granulated sweetener. Let's just dump that right in there. We're gonna mix our dry ingredients first. So set that aside. Here I have some salt, baking powder, and baking soda. We're just gonna dump that in as well. And then for this dish, I also like to include pumpkin pie spice in addition to the cinnamon, which is a separate layer, as you guys will see later in the video. So adding my pumpkin pie spice right in there. And let's whisk this all together. We're just whisking this until everything is combined. And this is one of those desserts that I just love to make. Like, it is so fun to have when you have family over or you're having some kind of get together, or it's just a nice little, sweet treat if you're looking for something to have with your coffee. You could also call this a coffee cake, but I don't always have this with coffee, so I'm just calling it a cinnamon pumpkin pie strudel. All right, so that is nice and whisked in. Let's set this aside and we're gonna work on mixing our wet ingredients. Something really special about this strudel is that we're gonna use sour cream in it, and the sour cream gives it that nice creaminess that you're looking for in a cake like this. So I have sour cream here in front of me. I'm gonna add some melted butter. This butter has been cooled down. Obviously it hasn't set, but we don't want it to be too hot because we're gonna add eggs in. And if your melted butter is too hot, you're gonna start cooking your eggs. It's gonna be gross. So let it cool down just a little bit. So let's pour that in there. All right, and then I have some vanilla extract here. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon. Okay, and before I mix my eggs in, I wanna mix this all together, and once it's mixed, then we'll add the eggs. So let's mix all of this together until it is well combined. Another important thing why I'm doing this before I add the eggs is just in case your butter is still a little bit warm, so we can completely ensure that we're preventing cooking the eggs. The sour cream is cold, right? So the butter will cool down as we're mixing it. So this is nice and mixed. Now we can add our eggs. So I'm just gonna add, these are 2 large eggs and they are at room temperature. The room temperature is really, really important. It completely changes how this dish will cook in the oven. So room temperature eggs, right in there. Perfect, and let's mix this all together too. Okay, so I have the dry ingredients that were previously whisked right in front of me, as well as the mixture that we have. This is the consistency that you want. Everything is perfectly mixed. And now we're just gonna dump this in with our dry ingredients. This is the base of our cake. It is so delicious, guys. It is nice and creamy. You won't even be able to tell that this is keto friendly. You guys know we do keto friendly, low carb, sugar-free desserts here because no one wants a boring keto diet. It's so important to me to stay on a diet that I have something delicious that I'm enjoying. And this is one of those things that it'll make you completely not miss, not eating real sugar desserts. And now let's mix this all together. You can just use your whisk or a spatula. I'm gonna start with a whisk here. I set my whisk aside. I'm gonna switch over to a spatula now so I can scrape all of these sides up. Make sure that everything is really well incorporated. All right, that is perfect. Now let me get my pan. So I have a non-stick springform pan here, and what we're gonna do first is we are going to take butter and we are gonna put it on the sides and on the bottom. My pan is all buttered. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take half of the batter that we made and we're gonna fill it in the pan because this is gonna be a layered cake. So let's just take half first. Okay. And now we're gonna spread this out with our spatula. And just evenly spread it out in the spring form. You can also do this in a baking pan, but I kind of like the spring form because when you take it out, it'll be like a cake, and that's just my preferred way of doing it. So if you don't have a spring form, it's totally fine. You don't need one. All right. This looks perfect. So next thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna do a nice sweet sugar cinnamon layer. So here I have already mixed this together. This is Monkfruit, and you can also use Stevia or your preferred granulated sweetener of choice. We're trying to avoid sugar here. So this is, like I said, Monkfruit. I've also mixed in cinnamon and salt. And so what we're gonna do is we are just gonna sprinkle this layer all over our cake, or the first layer of batter, I should say. Just spread that out everywhere. Make sure it is evenly spread. Oh my God, it smells so good. I love cinnamon. You can also use that pumpkin pie spice for this too, but I think that the pumpkin pie spice, since it has like nutmeg and it has, what else does it even have in there? I think ginger and some other stuff. I don't like to use, like, overdo it on there, just because I think it's kind of an overwhelming flavor if you use too much. So for this, it's just cinnamon. All right, so once you've sprinkled it, this is what it's gonna look like. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the rest of the batter and put it right on top of this layer. Regardless of what your beverage of choice is when you have this, it is gonna be absolutely delicious, and it's gonna hit that sweet craving that you sometimes have. I know y'all have it out there. That's why I'm here, to provide you with this service of giving you delicious desserts that you can enjoy at home with still sticking to your keto diet or your low carb diet. You don't have to worry about missing out on all your favorite desserts, because I'm here to provide you with exactly the right recipe so you can keep enjoying them at home. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I am just spreading out this layer really carefully over that cinnamon sugar layer that we just did. Just keep spreading it out until it's even in the pan. I've set my cake aside, and now we're gonna work on the final topping of this cake. So I have just a bowl here in front of me. Here I have some more almond flour, and you can use your nut of choice for this. It just adds that nice little bit of crunch. So my favorite is pecans, so I added some pecans here, just throwing that right in there. Now I have some sea salt, add in our sea salt. This is some cinnamon. As you can see, this is a very cinnamon forward cake. So if cinnamon's not really your thing, this might not be the cake for you, but I would still give it a shot because it's super, super delicious. Here, now I'm gonna add my brown sugar substitute. So this is a Stevia brown sugar substitute. You can also use granulated sugar for this, but brown sugar is my preference. I like that little bit of molasses flavor that goes into here. And so I'm just gonna dump that right in there. And here I have some thinly sliced cold butter. This is unsalted butter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this in here and start kind of like mixing it together, and it's gonna form a crumble topping. So if you have a butter, I think they're called like cutters, you can use that as well, but I'm just gonna do this by hand. I don't have one of those fancy gadgets, so it's totally fine to do it like this. And what I did is I cut the butter and then I stuck it in the freezer until we were at this stage of the cake assembly process. So I just took this out of the fridge, just making sure it is separated. And now you can start mixing everything together. So I'm just gonna go like this. And you're just gonna keep doing this until the butter is combined with the dry ingredients. I'll show you guys, of course, what this texture is gonna look like. It'll be super, super crumbly. It is typical of a coffee cake. And I would do this in a much bigger bowl than you would need, just because it'll create less mess. All right, so now that we have the topping, we can just put it right on top of the cake. And you're just gonna spread this out. It's almost like semi-crumbly. It's okay if it becomes more paste-like. That's only because the butter is starting to melt a little bit, but when it bakes, it won't really matter at all because everything is just gonna cook anyways. All right, guys, this is perfect. This looks good. Let's throw this into the oven. I have my oven, it's been preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna throw this in. The timing really depends on your oven. So what I'll say is you wanna start at 35 minutes and check it. The top should start to brown, and the inside, if you do a toothpick test, it should come out nice and clean. So start at 35, but it could go all the way up to an hour. So let's throw this in the oven. And I'll see you all at the end. All right, guys, so my cake cooked for about 50 minutes, so the max time that I was talking about before. Again, like I said, it just depends on your oven. And after it finished baking, as you can see, the top is golden brown, and I let it sit out for 20 minutes just to cool and set. And so here is our final product. It smells absolutely amazing, but I wanted to show you guys how good this looks cutting a piece out, okay? All right, let's do a little cut right here. Knife comes out completely clean, as you can see. Cuts really, really well. And it should be nice and gooey and delicious on the inside. Take a look at that. You can see all those delicious cinnamon layers, super sugary, nice and ooey gooey. Oh my God, I cannot wait to try this. Let's set that right there. Just look at how delicious this is. I mean, this is absolutely perfect. As you guys saw, super easy to make. I know there's a lot of ingredients involved, but they're kind of repetitive ingredients. It's just making those layers is so perfect for this coffee cake. And like I said, you guys can make this, enjoy it if you have like a house party at home or for breakfast. Let's take a nice bite right here. All right, taste test time. Oh my God, it's so gooey, so delicious. If you love cinnamon, if you're a fan of pumpkin pie spice, this is gonna be your new favorite dessert. Guys, I have such a huge sweet tooth, so when I started keto, as you guys know, I've been doing keto for a while now. This is something that really curbs your craving, and when you're sort of like, you know, oh, I really, really want that like piece of chocolate cake, or oh, I really, really want to get that delicious dessert that I see at Whole Foods, make this. You're still on your keto diet, You're still sugar-free, you're still staying low carb, and you're enjoying something absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, comment down below what dessert you want to see me make next. Hit that notification bell to also never miss a tasty upload. Till next time.